Next time you're on a cruise, look around at everyone serving you. The bartender, the waiter, the person who folded your towel into a swan. Now guess how many of them there are on a big ship? A few hundred? Try 2,000. 2,000 people living below you running a small city while you're on vacation. And almost everything about their life would shock you. Here are the facts the brochure leaves out. Start with the one that sets up everything else. There's no such thing as a normal weekend. A crew contract often runs 4 to 9 months, and for many departments it's 7 days a week. And the law guarantees them a minimum of rest each day. But there's no Saturday off, no Sunday, no clocking out on Friday night. 70, 80 hours a week for the length of an entire school year. Then they go home for a few months, and they do it all again, some of them for 30 years. Here's the second one, and it catches people off guard. For a lot of crew, off-duty access to your half of the ship is limited. The guest pools, the guest bars, the restaurants, depending on your role, and the cruise line, those can be off-limits when you're not working. There are even separate crew stairwells and crew-only elevators, built to keep passenger and service traffic apart, which has the side effect of making the crew almost invisible. So the person who just handed you a cocktail often can't buy one at that bar. Third fact, where they actually sleep. Most crew share a cabin, 2 to a room, in bunk beds, on lower interior decks, many with no window or porthole at all. And there's a hierarchy carved right into the steel. The higher your rank, the higher up the ship you sleep, and the closer you get to an actual window. On a cruise ship, your job title isn't just on your badge, it's measured in how far you sleep from the bottom of the ocean. Fourth fact. On many large ships running almost the entire length of the vessel on a low deck, there's a crew corridor they've nicknamed the I-95 after the highway. Its own traffic, its own rush hours, its own rule about which side you walk on. You have walked directly above it and never known it was there. Fifth fact, they have their own bar, and it's better than yours. Behind crew-only doors, sometimes tucked deep inside, sometimes an outdoor deck at the back of the ship. There's a crew bar where drinks cost a fraction of what you pay up top. A beer that runs you $12 on the pool deck can be $1 or $2 down there. There's a crew mess, a crew shop, a gym, sometimes even a hidden crew sun deck, a whole parallel version of the vessel you booked. And after a 12-hour shift, that crew bar is where the ship actually comes alive, by most accounts. A lot livelier than the guest nightclub above. Sixth fact, and this one you'll wish you didn't know. The ship makes its own fresh water out of the sea, and it treats all of its own sewage on board. I've done full videos on both. So the water in your shower might have started as ocean earlier that week, pulled in, desalinated, treated, and stored, or it might have been loaded in port. Either way, where it all goes after you flush is a whole other story. Seventh fact might be the one that surprises passengers most. Every crew member has a second job, an emergency one. When the alarm sounds, the bartender, the waiter, and the singer in the theater all have an assigned station on what's called the muster list. Some guide guests to the lifeboats, some hold the stairwells, and some are on the specially trained fire and rescue teams. And they drill it constantly. While you're by the pool, they're running safety exercises. That briefing you grumbled through on day one, the people pouring your drinks are the ones who'd actually be getting you off the ship. Eighth fact. For a lot of the service crew, gratuities aren't a bonus on top. They're a real part of the pay. On many lines, the automatic gratuity on your bill is pooled and goes toward the compensation of the teams looking after you, and base wages can be modest. That's part of why the service never stops, why they learn your name and your drink by day 2. And a lot of that money doesn't stay aboard, it goes home. One contract can put a sibling through school or help build a family a house. In a country where wages on land are a fraction of this. Ninth fact flips what everyone assumes. People think a ship in the middle of the ocean has no real medical care. It's the opposite. A cruise ship carries licensed doctors, nurses, and a genuine medical center. Beds, oxygen, a lab, an x-ray machine, a small hospital floating at sea, because when you put 6,000 people on a ship for a week, someone always needs it. 10th fact. It might be the most international workplace on the planet. A single big ship can carry 50, 60, 70 different nationalities, all working and living together in one language. People who'd never share a boarder share a bunk bed cabin. And after months sealed off from the outside world with the same faces, the crew stops being co-workers and turns into something closer to family. Romances start. Plenty of couples meet on the I-95. Entire marriages have begun in a crew bar most passengers never knew existed. And here's the fact almost nobody remembers now. During the pandemic, when the world shut down, the whole crew change system broke. Across global shipping, at the peak, an estimated 400,000 seafarers were stuck. Contracts long expired, but no country would let them off to go home. Many kept working past the end of their contracts. Some were stranded at sea for more than a year. It was one of the great forgotten crises of that whole period, and a lot of it played out on the same kinds of ships people take their vacations on. So after all of that, with no proper weekend, little privacy, much of the ship off limits when you're off the clock, and, in the worst case, a year stranded at sea, why do so many of them keep coming back? Ask a crew member who's done 5 contracts how they feel about it, and many will tell you ship life is hard to replace. They get to see the world. They send money home that changes a family's life. They live in a community you can't build in an office. And a lot of them will tell you the thing that keeps them coming back is simpler than any of that. It's standing on a crew deck at 2 in the morning, in the middle of the ocean, under more stars than you've ever seen in your life. So the next time you hand your empty glass to someone in a crew uniform, remember what you're actually looking at. They live below you. Off duty, a lot of the ship is off limits to them. They've got an emergency station with your name on it. They haven't had a proper weekend in months, and a lot of them wouldn't trade it for anything. There's a second city under your feet, and on that ship, you're the tourist in it. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever worked on a cruise ship or known someone who did? What's the one fact that would shock people most? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if this changed the way you see that crew, hit like and subscribe. I'm Larry, and I'll see you on the next one.